Okay, folks, today I'm going to talk to you about the metadata panel in Adobe Bridge. We're going to start adding technical information to our captions on our Weebly portfolios. So I want to show you where to find that information and what that should look like. Okay, so if you're in Bridge, this is basically what it should look like. Now, maybe things got moved around or turned off. So if you need to reset your view or even just add, you could just add the metadata panel, which is all of this information here. So if you go to window, in Bridge or Photoshop, if there's anything that's missing, you can check off things that you want to see. Like sometimes people can't find their folders. So if you just make sure that folders and favorites are checked off, all the shortcuts you made over here will be back. Just like if you don't see a larger preview over here, turn on preview. Another shortcut to that is clicking on workspace and making sure essentials is checked. And then if you want to, you can also just hit reset workspace, and that will sort of refresh everything and make sure it's the way that you want it to look. So let's talk about metadata. Metadata is a set of standardized information about a file. So it's sort of all of the details, who created it, resolution, copyright information. If you want to assign keywords to it, this is much more advanced than what we're doing. For what we need it for is that the digital cameras that we use will attach basic information to that image file, such as the dimensions, the file format, and the date and time that the image was taken. Some cameras are also equipped with GPS functions, so you can actually figure out the exact location of where the photo was taken. So the most important things for us in the metadata panel are file properties and camera data. So file properties describes the characteristics of the file, and that is this information here. Okay, so you can see the dimensions in pixels as well as the dimensions in inches, the resolution, the file name, okay, what type of file it is. It's a JPEG. And then if you scroll down, we have all these extra things which are kind of a little bit too fancy for us right now, so we don't need to worry about them. And you can actually collapse some of these because we don't have GPS on our cameras. We're not filming, so we don't have audio or video. Oops. Turn that off. Turn that off. Okay. So we want to see the file properties and camera data. Okay, so here it has some information for us, as well as up here. So this is called the Metadata Placard. Okay, this tells us some information. Here we see the aperture that this image was taken at. Okay, so it's f-stop 5.6. This image was taken at 7.1. Okay, so is this one. This one was at 5.0. Okay, so you can see how that information changes. The next item next to it is your shutter speed. So 1/100th of a second. Okay, and then this is the metering mode. This is the white balance. These have little different symbols. So it depends on like the icons for the camera. I think the little person means, actually I don't know what the little person means. Let's see what these ones are set at. So you can see AWB, auto white balance. Oh wait. Oh, the little person is custom. Okay. Here's auto, custom. Okay. So not that important, but just in case you need to know that. Okay. So this image was edited from this original image here. Okay. So this image does not have a lot of that information because it doesn't know. You can embed things in Photoshop, but we don't need to worry about that because we know that this was the original image. So if you're doing your captions for Weebly, go back to your original image and then you will get all of this information. So anyway, here's your metadata placard. It tells you your f-stop, your shutter speed, metering mode, white balance, ISO. Here are some dimensions for you as well. Okay, so the one thing that we don't have visible right now is the shooting mode. Okay, under camera data it says exposure mode, but it says auto. Most of you shot in either aperture priority or shutter priority. Okay, which to the camera is one of the automatic modes. Yes, you set one item, one function in that shooting mode, but the camera automatically fills in the rest. So it considers that one of the automatic modes. It's not purely manual. So I don't know if any of these, this one was shot manually. So whoever took this photograph set both or all three, ISO, shutter, and aperture. Okay. So what we want to know for some of these other images are some of the details and how the image was created. Okay. So that information is not here. Okay. You guys need to go over here to this little menu panel here. Okay. Click on Preferences. Okay. And make sure metadata is selected on the left-hand side. These I'm going to collapse because I'm not worried about them right now. And I'm just going to leave them, you know, their default settings is fine. Okay. I'm going to go down to camera data and I want to make sure that exposure mode, and exposure program are selected. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see that this changed. So it was shot in aperture priority, which is a automatic mode. It's like a half auto mode. And then it also identifies your exposure, which is up here as well. But then you can see that it was 1/125th of a second at f-stop 7.1. Okay, so that is the information that you need for your posts to Weebly. So it's Maisel. M for mode. So now we know the mode. Aperture priority. A for aperture. We know the aperture. It's the f-stop here. S for shutter. That's right here. I for ISO. That's right here. Or down here. And then L for lens. So we're going to scroll down a little bit more and actually identifies the lens here, the specific quality of the lens, but all you really need to know is the focal length of the lens. So you would just put 90mm lens. Okay? So that's where all that information is for when you're ready to upload your final abstract images to Weebly. And if you watched my previous video on the editing, what I did was I started with this image. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, this was the original image. I cropped and got rid of all of the details in the background, made it like a solid black. And then I copied this into a new document and created this crazy mirror image thing. So when I post this as my final image, you know, with my signature down here, like I said, it does not have this information here. So you need to go back to the original to get that information. Okay, even this one does have some of the information for you. Okay, but just go back to the original and you'll get your original technical information for that image. Okay, so just to review real quick, if you don't see the information you need under camera data, okay, if it does not say exposure program, you need to click on this little menu panel here and click on preferences, scroll down to camera data and make sure exposure program is selected. Okay, and you know, you could also change, add some things if you wanted to, get rid of some things if you wanted to. It's up to you. All right, so that is that. Thanks for watching and have fun with your photos.